Hello everyone, this is Rohini Prasad. Today we are going to study skeletal system. Skeletal system, when we talk about skeletal system in body, is meant for movement and locomotion of animals. And these functions, the movement from place to place and locomotion, are performed by skeleton and the muscles together in a human body. Why need of skeleton system? Why do we need skeletal system in human body? It gives support and shape to the body. The skeleton provides a support or a framework to all the soft parts and give the body and its part a definite shape. Next, protection. The skeletal system protects the internal organs such as heart, lungs, stomach, and other organs. Then it helps in movement, means the body parts can move. Many bones are joined together in a manner that one bone can move the another bone. These movements are brought about with the help of muscles. Next is leverage. Leverage, when we talk about, some bones and joint form lever that increase the speed and distance of movement by a muscles. Example, biceps and triceps. Formation of blood cell. Certain bones are present in skeleton system, especially long bones in which blood cells are formed, both RBC and WBC. Storehouse of calcium and phosphorus. Bone is the major storehouse where calcium and phosphorus are stored, which gives strength to the skeletal system. The constituents of bone, when we talk about, bone consists of bone, cartilage, and ligament. Bone completes the hard framework of the body. Cartilage are the supporting structure. Mainly cartilage is present between the vertebral column. Each vertebrae cartilage is present to reduce the friction of the bones. Then ligaments are present there, which means it helps to join bone to bone. Next, when we come to bone. Here we are going to study in detail about the bone structure, types of bone, and the function of bone. Now, when we talk about bone, it is the chief component of our skeletal system. It consists of organic and inorganic material. 2/3 of inorganic material, calcium and phosphorus, are present to form bone. Now, when we talk about classification of bones on the basis of shape, how it is classified. Long bones are present there, example, bone of arm and leg. Short bone, example, ankle and wrist. Flat bone, example, skull and sternum. Irregular bone, example, vertebral bones. This is the classification of bones. Now, in general, when we talk about human skeleton is divided into axial skeleton and appendicular skeleton. These two skeletal system forms the human skeletal system. First, we'll discuss about axial skeleton. It consists of skull, vertebral column, ribs and sternum. Now, one by one in detail, we'll study about skull, vertebral column, ribs and sternum. First, we'll discuss about the skull. When we study about skull, it is the skeleton of the head. It contains two parts. The upper top part, the cranium, that is made up of 8 bones. 8 cranial bones are there. In that picture, you can see frontal, parietal, sphenoid, ethmoid, temporal, occipital. So So one each frontal, sphenoid, ethmoid, occipital and temporal, and 2 parietal bones are present. The other part of skull forms the face, which contains total 14 bones. So these are the facial bones, which are 14 bones are present here. The upper and the lower jaw are also formed by these bones. Now you can see the facial bones, the frontal bone, the parietal bone, the sphenoid bone, the temporal bone, nasal bone, zygomatic bone, vomer bone, maxilla and mandible. Maxilla is the upper jaw, mandible lower jaw bone. The back part of cranium contains a large hole which is called as foramen magnum, through which the spinal cord emerges. Next we come to vertebral column. When we talk about vertebral column, it is divided into 5 major portions. First is cervical, thoracic, lumbar, sacrum, cox. Cervical 7 in number, thoracic 12 in number, lumbar is 5 in number, sacrum 5 which is fused form, and cox also 4 in number which is fused form. Now these bones are having different functions. Like the first cervical vertebra is called atlas, second vertebra is called axis, and the remaining 5 neck vertebrae do not have any special name, and this is present between where the spinal cord starts. Next is thoracic vertebrae have a long neural spine which are directed backward. Each of transverse process bears on its extremity a facet of articulation with the tubercle of the ribs. The main function of vertebral column, when we talk about it, is to protect the spinal cord. Next is lumbar, which is 5 in number, have well developed neural spines and transverse process which serve for attachment of powerful back muscles. It attaches the powerful back muscles. Then sacrum, when we talk about it, is the 5 fused vertebral column. It forms by the fusion of 5 vertebrae. To it are articulated the hip bone on the either side. So articulated means arteries, the blood supply which we talk about. Next is cox. It is the last part of the backbone. It is made up of 4 fused vertebrae, which represents the rudimentary tail of human beings. In other organism, tail is present there, but here in human beings it is fused and it is a rudimentary tail. Then next we come to ribs, structure of typical vertebra. When we talk about structure of vertebra, you can see here the diagram which is given here. Here each vertebra is a ring-like structure. Now when we talk about ring-like structure, here in the bone there is a solid cylinder of bone called as centrum. Centrum is present here and it is flat. On dorsal side of the central is the canal which is called as neural canal or the spinal canal, from where the spinal cord moves or it is located there. Then next is neural arches arise from the side of the centrum. Neural arc will arise, you can see posterior vertebral arc is given here. So that is the neural arc which arises from the side of centrum. In natural position, the spinal cord runs along the neural canal or the spinal canal which is marked here. Neural spine is flat, longitudinal, rigid, projecting upward from meeting point of the 2 neural arches. Then here a transverse process you can see which is present there. Then neural arc also bears articular facet which helps in joining the 2 vertebrae one behind the other. The articular process or articular facet which is present there, the main function of articular process of facet is to join 2 vertebrae, and a invertebral disc is present, a pad like disc. The marking here disc which is given, that is a cartilage present there, which stops or which reduces the friction between two vertebrae. Next we come to ribs. There are various types of ribs: true ribs, coastal ribs, sternal rib, false rib and floating rib. When we talk about true ribs, they meet ventrally with the sternum. Now here in the diagram you can see a flat bone is present, the sternum is present there, to which the rib bones join. So true ribs, when we talk about, sternal and coastal cartilage is present there to join it to the sternum. Vertebral or coastal rib and sternal rib is present there. Joint between coastal and sternal rib allows changes in chest shape during respiration. Inhalation and exhalation of occurs in respiration. At that time, this helps in movement of the rib because it is made up of cartilage. Then false rib articulates with each other but not with the sternum. Then floating ribs are present there which do not articulate ventrally. Next we come to the sternum. It is a flat bone 6 inches in length, supports clavicle and provides attachment to first 7 costal cartilage of the ribs. It is providing an attachment to the ribs. Now this was all about axial skeleton. Now next we come to appendicular skeletal system. Here it is made up of bones of limbs, that is hind limb and forelimb, girdle, that is pectoral and pelvic girdle. First we will study about forelimb and hind limb. Now bones of upper limb. The upper limb of our body is called as forelimbs, and the bones present in upper limb are bones of shoulder girdles, includes clavicle and scapula. Here in the diagram you can see the clavicle and scapula. Bone of the arm, which is humerus. Bone of forearm, which is called as radius and ulna. Bones of hand, which is called as carpal bones, which are 8 in number. Metacarpal bones, which are 5 in number. Phalanges, which are 14 in number. These phalanges forms the finger of our arm. Next we come to hind limb, that is the bones of lower limb. When we talk about bones of lower limb, the bone of pelvic girdle is hip bone. The bone of thigh is called as femur. The bone of leg are called tibia and fibula. The bone of foot are called tarsus, metatarsus and phalanges. Next is pectoral girdle. When we talk about pectoral girdle, it includes 2 clavicles and 2 scapula. In the diagram you can see there clavicles and scapula is present there. It forms incomplete ring, provides attachment for the muscles that moves arms. This helps in movement of our arm in all the direction because joints are also present there. Clavicles, 2 rod-like bones, sternum and between sternum and scapula. Scapula, 2 broad triangular shaped bone, has 2 projections. When you will touch your back, you will feel this type of bone which is present in the pectoral girdle. Then coracoid process and acromion process is also present there. Next we come to pelvic girdle. Pelvic girdle is made up of ilium, ischium, acetibulum and pubis. Ilium, the hip bone, forms the ilium and it protects the lower portion of the body and helps in movement of our limbs. Now when we talk about these bones, now they have to combine together and they have to move. So the point where which 2 bones meet, that is called as joints. The 3 major joints of the body are immovable joint, partially movable joint, freely movable joint. Immovable joint means those bones which don't move. Partially movable, slightly they will move. Freely they can move in some or the other direction. first we come to immovable joints. It cannot move. All cranial and facial bones are immovable joint, and lower part of vertebral column, which is also a immovable joint. Next we come to partially movable joint. These are the joint that moves a little. So they are linked by cartilage. Like in vertebral column we have studied, a cartilage is present there as in the spine. Each of the vertebrae in the spine moves in relation to the one above and below. And together these movements give the spine its flexibility. Next we come to freely movable joint. When we talk about freely movable joint, so they are further classified into pivot joint, ball and socket joint, hinge joint and gliding joint. First we study about gliding joint. Gliding joint occurs between the bone of wrist and also between the bones of ankle. Then it is also somewhere present in the vertebral column. Next is pivot joint. Here one bone is rotated over a pivot like end. This is present in the axis vertebra, skull and axis vertebra, which helps in movement of our neck in all the direction, sidewise and back and fro. Next is gliding hinge joint. When we talk about hinge joint, these joint move like hinge in one plane, like the door opens in one direction. Example is elbow and knee joint. Fourth is ball and socket joint. Ball and socket joint is a joint which allows the movement of bone in all the direction. Here one end of the bone is rounded and a ball like fits into a cup like depression. Here in the diagram also you can see, that is called as ball and socket joint. So it is present in shoulder. Next we come to, now here in the diagram you can see various position: pivot joint, neck, ball and socket joint, hinge joint, saddle joint, plane joint and condyloid joint is present there. So these all joint together helps in the movement of our body. The next joint when we talk about is the synovial joint, which is the most freely movable joint, like shoulder, knee joint, and they are also called as synovial joint. They allow a degree of movement. Then here in the diagram when you see, a synovial fluid is present there, which provides the it is a lubricating fluid. Wherever it occurs is called synovial fluid, and hence it helps in lubricating to remove the friction between the bones. It is held in the position by a strong ligament and is well protected by an outer fibrous capsule. The ligament prevents dislocation in normal movement. So this is about synovial joint. Hope you all have understood about skeletal system, types of bones, joints present in our body and how it functions in our body, how these all bones helps in movement and locomotion of human body. Thank you. Stay home, stay safe.